All right, for now? All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Andy with Russell Phillips & Associates. This is Lori from our firm Russell. She's shadowing me to kind of learn what it is that we do out in the field. She does our mutual aid plan coordination in our office in Plainville, Connecticut. And Paul's with me as well. And so I'm going to talk to you about 40 minutes or so about fire safety training, and then Paul's going to take the last 20 minutes or so and go over some of the hazardous materials response plan for the hospital and the off-sites. So we're going to talk about a few things. Can you see that okay? It's kind of a little dim there. I'm just going to use this as it's kind of some of my talking points, but we'll just kind of talk through. If you have questions, let's ask questions and kind of get really comfortable with the fire procedures for your health center here. So we're going to talk about a couple case studies, case scenarios where things go well, don't go so well. What can we learn from those things? We're going to go through the race procedures. How do we remember those procedures? What do those words stand for? And then we're going to go over some skills reviews and do the sheet slide technique. We're going to practice the clothing fire suppression, and then review how to use a fire extinguisher so everybody feels comfortable with that. So here's a short list of some cities, states across the country where fires have happened in hospitals, health centers, community health centers, nursing homes in 2014. A few of those are in Canada as well. And why am I showing you this list? It's because fire is a real emergency, and I just want to kind of bring that back. That's why we do fire training every year. That's why we do fire drills every month or every quarter, because we have to stay practiced on those procedures. We have to have those procedures to be muscle memory right at our fingertips. Because we're not in the business of responding to fire emergencies every day. We're in the business of healthcare. That's what we're experts at. So we have to be able to have these at our fingertips. When the real thing happens in front of us, we snap into action. We don't have a lot of time to think about it. We don't have time to run and get the procedures and flip through and find out what are the procedures for fire emergency. Oh, that word RACE. What does that stand for again? We just have to have those immediate actions start happening. So I want you to picture in your mind, kind of put yourself here, somewhere, anywhere in your clinic here. You're walking down the hall. A patient is yelling for help from a room or a bay or whatever you have, wherever you want to think about where you're in. They're yelling for help. Maybe they're yelling the word fire. I'd say yelling the F word, but not that F word, the other one, the fire word. You're yelling that word. You go into that room. There's a patient on the bed or on the stretcher. There's fire in the trash can. The flames are coming out. They're almost hitting the ceiling. Just then the fire alarm starts to sound. So what's the very first thing in your mind you want to do? Just yell it out.
Get that patient out of there.
You want to get the patient out of the area. Anybody else? What do we want to do next? Close the door if there is a door. Some of your open areas you have curtains, so that doesn't really do anything to contain fire, right? What else do you want to do? Pull an alarm? Keep going, don't stop. But tell me what's on your mind.
Grab the nearest fire extinguisher.
Want to grab the fire extinguisher? Pull the alarm. Anything else? Run. Some people say, I'm going to yell fire, help. I'm going to call somebody. What's that?
5,000.
Call the operator. How do you get? Can you call the operator from here?
We are the operator.
You are the operator here.
Sorry about that.
So it's like a canned response when you're in the hospital. It's like I dial 5,000. If I dial 5,000 from here, is it going to get me anywhere?
No.
Probably me out front. Yeah.
You work at the reception desk, and so you have some kind of some special responsibilities in the fire procedures, right?
I'm special. Talk parent.
Of course. So I just want to get a feel for where you are with your muscle memory for the procedures. Kind of put you on the spot. Don't give you a lot of time to think about it, and just kind of put you in a scenario. What are you going to do? Because that's how a fire emergency is going to be. It's going to happen that fast. You're not going to have a lot of time to think about it. It's going to be whatever's your gut reaction. That's what you're going to immediately do. So that's where I want to get you by the end of our session today is what are those immediate action steps in the R and RACE? And so we just start to naturally carry those out. Let's see if we get some sound with this. So a video clip of a hospital fire in 2014. See if it picked up on some of the things the staff did here. A little different for your building here, and we'll talk about what's different about your health center here versus a hospital or another healthcare facility. Let's see if we get some sound. It's not very loud.
Right now in the breaking news center, tracking a fire in a regional hospital in West Memphis, Arkansas. It forced patients to evacuate. WMZ Action Size Amy Sporopoulos is there live. Amy, what's the latest?
Good morning. We have talked with the West Memphis Fire Chief as well as the president of the hospital, who tells us that #1 priority is patient safety. All patients are accounted for. 14 patients were evacuated, Lindsay, from this hospital. You can see a number of firefighters are still here on the scene. The chief, in fact, is upstairs, up on the top floor. You see him in the red shirt there, where 2 windows were blown out because of the fire. The fire was contained to one room here at the hospital. 14 patients evacuated, as well as staff here at Clip1 Hospital. One of those patients was cardiac arrest to Methodist University Hospital, but the call came in just after 3 o'clock this morning. Smoke contained to one of those rooms. As I mentioned, the fire chief tells me that right now it is too soon to tell the cause of this blaze, but he did say that everyone is accounted for, as well as that includes staff and the 14 patients that were evacuated from the hospital. As I mentioned, one of those patients transported suffering from cardiac. Good news in all of this is all of the patients, the fire, first of all, was contained to one of the rooms on the floor, the intensive care unit floor. All of those patients were evacuated. They are accounted for now, one of them transported, and everything is good right now, of course, as opposed to what it could have been here at the hospital. But right now, the cause is too soon to tell.
What did you get? The audio was a little low, but could you hear some of the things that the staff did, or what did you pick up on?
Well, they closed it to one room.
They got the fire contained to one room, so they got the door closed, got the patient out, they evacuated everybody else out of that unit.
They counted for everybody.
They counted for everybody. I'm glad you picked up on that. Not too many people pick up on that one. Accountability of the patients and the staff. That can be tough to do early in an emergency. Is where is everybody? Where are my people? Where are my patients? Where are my staff? People start scattering and running and start doing a lot of things, and then when the fire department gets there, one of the things they want to know is, do you know where everybody is? Do you know where all your staff are? Do you know where your patients are? Patients is where we usually focus on. It's usually the staff accountability we lose track of. What else? Did you pick up on anything else in there?
Yeah, the fire chief didn't have any safety gear.
Oh, I'm glad somebody picked up on that. I was at myself. Why is the fire chief standing on the roof of the building in t-shirt? That's excellent. I'm glad you picked up on that. So, and I want to reference back to a couple of more things in that video as we go through this. But our focus in healthcare is on rescue and remove, not on fire suppression. And a natural thought might be a small fire is, let's put the fire out. And if you're at home, that's a natural thought because you don't want your house to burn down. But in your facilities, you have fire protection features here, and you also have a lot of patients in your building that have mobility challenges. They have other reasons. They have complicating medical problems. They might not be able to move or self-evacuate themselves. They rely on you guys to be their arms and ears and eyes and ears and arms and legs for safety. And for some patients, that's 100%. And so that's why our focus is rescue and remove these people away from the danger. And fire suppression is a second thought. And I'll talk about that more as we go through this. So let's start talking about our fire procedures. We have that word RACE, R-A-C-E. Stands for rescue, alarm, confine, or contain, and evacuate. So congratulations, you memorized 4 words. Fire training's over, back down to the rest of our day. No, I'm just kidding. What I want you to know is, what do those words mean in terms of actions? What actions do I need to take if the fire happens right in front of me? If I'm the very first person, what do I need to do? So how do we initiate our fire procedures? Start yelling a code word. What's the code word? Code red. That's how we initiate fire procedures. That's how we tell everybody around us we have a situation going on. We have to respond. We have to activate our fire procedures. I'm activating the fire procedures. I'm yelling code red, and I'm going to yell the location. How many times do I want to yell it? And that's a natural response, is I'm going to yell it 3 times. Oh, perfect. So if somebody hears it, responds. Because let's say you're all the way down the end of the hallway, if you hear and you see something, and there's nobody else in this hallway. You yell it 3 times, who's hearing it? No one. So you got to yell it loud and as many times as it takes so someone hears you and they respond to come help you. Otherwise, you're responding to this by yourself. Let's say you hear somebody yelling for help from a room and the door is closed. You just go up to the door and they're yelling fire from inside that room, and you go up to that door and just open that door, barge right in. You got to feel the door with the back of your hand. Assess whether you can actually even get in there. If the door's hot, am I going to open the door? No. If the door's not hot, then open the door handle, but get down low. You want to assess your ability to get into that room. And I'm getting down low. I'm looking into that room through the crack in the door. And what am I checking for? Well, I'm getting down low. Smoke. If there's smoke in that room, where is it going to go? Up to the ceiling. So you want to look and see how much smoke can I even get into that room. And if I'm going to go into that room, I have one objective and one objective only. And what is that? Rescue people out of that room. That is it. Go in, get the people out. And while I'm in that room, I want the door to stay open because that's my way back out. That's my exit way. So So I want you to watch this video. Pay attention to this right-hand room right here, this modern room. The modern room is that room that's made up of all of our new type of building materials, the synthetic fibers that are in the seat coverings, the faux leather, the plastics and polymers that are in our, the bedding and the mattresses and all that kind of stuff. And when all that stuff burns, it burns this thick, black, toxic smoke. The smoke is so bad, it's so dangerous, that 4 or 5 breaths of that smoke is enough to kill you or I. It is that dangerous. So keep watching. We're right about there. You're going to see a fire burning about the 1.5-minute mark. There it is. Smoke's hitting the ceiling, banking down. There's like a line coming right across there. That is right about where my eyes, my ears, my mouth, my nose is. And that's why I got to be down low. That's why when I'm going to check and open that door, I want to be down low. If I'm going into that room to rescue somebody, I'm crawling or stooping down low while I'm going into that room. Because if I walk in standing up, I'm breathing all that smoke. And I want you to remember what this looks like. All this smoke pouring out of this room right here. And at this point we have what's called flashover. That's when everything in the room reaches its ignition temperature at the same time and it flashes over into a fireball. You'll probably never have a fire like that in your health center here because you have sprinkler protection throughout the building here. And sprinklers open up by heat, not by smoke, and it only takes about 150 degrees to open up a sprinkler head. I can open up a sprinkler head with a lighter. Little flame like that. Just melt that little piece of lead or crystal that's in there, depending on the type of sprinkler head it is. Opens it right up, and I'm getting about 20 gallons a minute of water pouring out of my sprinkler head. Just to compare, the shower you take at home is about 1.5 gallons to 4 gallons a minute, depending on the type of shower head you have at home. 20 gallons a minute coming out of my sprinkler head. Now, I don't expect you guys to remember how a sprinkler works. But what I want you to understand is it's not safe to stay in a room if there's a fire in there, if I have a sprinkler in there. Because what are people dying from in fires? Smoke inhalation. What is my sprinkler doing for the smoke in the room? Absolutely nothing. Maybe pushing it down towards the floor, giving us even less time to be in there. It's not safe to stay in a room if I have a fire in there. The only thing the sprinkler does is keep the building from burning down around us.